you first read the headlines of it, what was your reaction?
Well, thanks for having me here again, Ian. And I think one of the reactions I had initially was that I wasn't in any way surprised by the outcome of the report. And I was, I wasn't sad. I mean, quite a few people I've spoken to said they felt a sense of sadness that the report did what it did, but I didn't think it was surprising. And in a way, I kind of expected that outcome because we've had several reports since then. I mean, we had the Lammy report, we had the McGregor report, we had the stuff that was done by the Select Committee on Equalities that said black people didn't feel that their human rights were being addressed. So to me, there was a real breadth of substance that those people who were on the committee could have used as a main exercise, because I think one of the criticisms was, why is it even being done anyway? But essentially, I feel like that all that work that was done was missed, and I've heard quite a few commentators say it was a missed opportunity.
What do you think the original reason was for coming up with this commission? Because it was in the aftermath of George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter protests and all of that. What do you think the government, what do you think was in their mind as to sort of having this commission?
I think one of the things that I think that's an important question about context, because the context at the time was to do with the Black Lives Matter movement and the death of George Floyd. And I heard in the previous piece that the Derek Chauvin, his trial is going on at the moment. And I think that was a major catalyst for different types of mobilization. And I think that what the BLM movement was able to do, which is a global movement and it's a global political movement, it was such a big exercise that I think it took the government completely off guard. They weren't anticipating such a cross-section of support, which, the BLM movement didn't just focus on. In a sense, the components weren't just young black people. They were mature white people from St. Ives. They were people from the LGBTQ and T community. They were elders. They were different community groups in terms of their religious perspectives. And I think the government saw that and, in a way, were quite concerned that the idea of mobilization around social justice issues had so much support and across, so many different communities. And I think it was a fearful one. And at the time, if you think back to what was happening in that period, you had Extinction Rebellion as another organized movement which was occupying the streets. You also had BLM as an organized movement that was occupying the streets. And you also had a government who didn't feel that they had the right statutory instruments to deal with static types of demonstrations and mobilizations. And I think as a consequence of that, there was this fear. Let's not forget to throw into the same soup. You had the pandemic and all the deaths of black and ethnic majority. I'm going to start changing this. I don't want to be called a minority anymore. I'm part of the majority. So black and ethnic majority communities in the metropolitan areas dying from COVID. So this soup was the soup in which the government tried to say, okay, let's try and squash the conversation about social justice issues by kicking it down the road with another commission.